You know, there are myriad reasons why black folk in this country don't trust cops and will never trust cops, no matter the cops perform these singular acts of rescue and helpfulness and decency and generosity and good-natured response to situations and restraint. Let's stipulate all that. Okay, it's stipulated. But then you have the cops who do things like Seattle cops did. They planted fake reports, the cops did, of Proud Boys moving into Seattle on police radios to scare the Black Lives Matter protesters. You want to know why it's so difficult, if not totally impossible, for African Americans to trust law enforcement? Here's another reason. About a week ago, 2 weeks ago, the Seattle Times reported that during the protests last year, 2021, that's right, Seattle police spread fake reports that these gangsters, these American Nazi brown shirts, the Proud Boys, were on the move, and they did this on police radio bands in an effort to intimidate the demonstrators, the people who were marching because Black Lives Matter. What does that tell you about the Seattle cops who did this? You filthy goddamn bastards, you. You're supposed to protect and defend. You fuckers think that means just white people, don't you? A reporter, Daniel Beekman for the Seattle Times, wrote this, quote, "At a crucial moment during 2020's racial justice protests, Seattle police exchanged a detailed series of fake radio transmissions about a non-existent group of menacing right-wing extremists. The radio chatter about members of the Proud Boys marching around downtown Seattle, some carrying guns, and then heading to confront protesters in the Capitol Hill neighborhood in Seattle, was an improper, dishonest ploy that exacerbated a volatile situation, according to findings released Wednesday by the city's Office of Police Accountability." End quote, Seattle Times a couple of weeks ago. I mean, the cops were trying to incite rioting. What did they think? That the black protesters were going to panic? Oh, my goodness, the white people are coming. Let's run and hide out in the cotton field. Is that what you fuckers thought? That you'd get that kind of reaction from Black Lives Matter protesters? Are you kidding? Those protests were some of many around the country. And you know, Molly and I participated in a number of them here in Atlanta. I'm sure you probably got involved too. And those are the protests that flared in response to a bunch of police murder cases, including the murder of George Floyd. Now, the report from the Seattle's Office of Police Accountability said this also, quote, "The ruse," call it a lie, "the lie happened on the night of June 8th, 2020, hours after the police department had abandoned its East Precinct in the Capitol Hill neighborhood, and just as protesters were starting to set up the zone that was later called the Capitol Hill Organized Protest, or CHOP." Let me digress from the report. Remember that? They had barricades set up. I know that neighborhood because a good friend of mine in Seattle, his parents used to live in that neighborhood, so I'm familiar with it. Anyway, the report went on, quote, the officers who participated in this bullshit, I added that, described a group gathering by City Hall and moving around downtown. They delivered reports such as, quote, it looks like a few of them might be open carrying. And hearing from the Proud Boys group, they may be looking for somewhere else for confrontation, end quote. And according to the director of the Office of Police Accountability, Andrew Meyerberg, according to that report, these fake broadcasts, quote, improperly added fuel to the fire, end quote. Because social media posts were warning about the non-existent Proud Boys, and that caused that neighborhood that set up the barriers, the demonstrators behind those barriers, to arm themselves. This is what the fucking cops in Seattle did, the ones who did this. And, of course, you know who the Proud Boys are, this gang of fucking brown shirts. A lot of the members of this organization of stumblebums and assholes were involved in the January 6th attack on the Capitol. I mean, the Proud Boys, the Oath Keepers, the rest of these scum, the leadership should be arrested. This is not freedom of speech. This is treason. They should be arrested. Cut off the fucking heads of these organizations and the bodies die. I wonder if that'll happen. Probably not. Because these cowardly little pricks, as soon as they're stopped, as soon as they're caught doing what they're doing, they immediately start squealing and whining and bitching and trying to hide behind what they consider to be their First Amendment rights, even though they don't fucking understand the First Amendment at all. But you can always hear it. Squeals and whines and, oh, Judge, I'm so sorry I did that. Oh, I completely repudiate myself. Just cowardly little shits. Little boys dressing up like what they think a man looks like and then running around trying to intimidate people who are simply saying our lives matter. Or members of Congress who are saying we're going to do something we've been doing for 200 years. We're going to confirm the election. And these little pissants, these little chicken shits come running out of the woodwork with their little toy soldier uniforms on. We're the Proud Boys. We're the Oath Keepers. We're the QAnon. We're here to, I don't know. We're going to do something unless somebody yells at us, and then we'll start screaming and pissing ourselves and running away. Or showing up in court, begging the judge, oh, Your Honor, I have a wife and children at home. Please don't do anything painful to me. Oh, I'm so sorry. I was tricked into joining this group. Jesus fucking Christ. This is the kind of slop, these people, that sluices around inside the borders of this country. This kind of filth and degeneracy, these so-called militia groups, these people who are defending the Constitution, you little fuckers. Oh, my God. Hi, Truth Seekers. Mike Malloy here. As you know, we've switched formats and are now broadcast exclusively on the Progressive Voices Network. So that means you get fewer program interruptions, no corporate commercials, and lots of profanity. But our format change also means some of our radio listeners no longer hear the program. It's been a while since I mentioned our podcasts, so you may have forgotten that there is a way to listen to this program anytime you need a good dose of screaming. Visit MikeMalloy.com and subscribe to our podcasts. As a podcast subscriber, you can download the program to your mobile device and take me with you wherever you go. And if you have a friend who needs a dose of truth-seeking, you can give a gift subscription as well. That's MikeMalloy.com, and never miss a minute of the uncensored fun and frivolity.